communications is as stimulating as good coffee. This is a very famous proverb or a quote that's used by Anne Morrow to describe how good communication is relative to the whole process of establishing a good organization. MBAA, as far as I understand, is a link between students, the faculty, the administration, as well as the alumni. So, with respect to establishing these connections strongly, communications plays a very important role. I believe the whole publicity aspect of bringing people participate for events is very important and is driven by the communication angle, be it through the emails, the opt-in reminders, or the social media. All these are very important to drive footfall to all the events that MBA as an overall conducts. To this aspect, what I bring on the table is my previous experience as part of Samsung, where I was in charge of communications for the social work or the CSR, corporate social responsibility wing of Samsung. As part of this, I was in charge of the social media campaign that went out to promote participation from the employees, the emails, the communications with the higher management, to how to strategize the whole event as such, and also to bring about the participation from the employees and bring in ideas so as to improve the whole process. Because I believe, everyone is good at strategizing the event at first, but bringing in the multiple angles from the participating crowd is as important in framing the overall process. So I believe I can bring a lot to the table with my previous experience, and look forward to getting ideas from you guys to improve it. That's part of it. Thank you.
Okay. Farah, we have talked at length about communication. From my point of view, VP of Communications role has changed a lot from the last year itself. And a lot of things are unstructured. We added, Facebook, and even Oxen things we have cut down a little because we felt that the MBA was covering a lot of things that the MBA programs was covering. I was wondering if you had thoughts on how you would basically change the role as it goes, because I do feel that the role will evolve.
Yeah, I understand about the evolution, the whole VP of Communications post had, and the whole aspect of communication, how it has improved over the years. As per my understanding, it's good to have a streamlined or a standardized method of communication set out from the MBA, basically streamlining all the events that happen, because a formal communication from the board or something of a weekly sort is really important for the whole communication aspect, to be reaching out to the right public. But I think a part of it also has to deal with the club membership, or the club president or leadership, so that they also promote their events, and it's not just the MBA board or the communications that reaches out to the to various participants. From the MBA side, I believe communications can help reaching the alumni, which it might be difficult for the club leadership to directly reach, and also bring about those non-members' participation into these events. But I think it's basically a mixed play between the VP of Communications, whoever it is, and the club leadership to promote events. And but social media as such going forward is also as important as the Oxync, because on Oxync we have tons of events, which basically sort of skips the event in the middle of other important things. But social media as such, you would only interest or log to events or register for events which you are interested in. That way you streamline your events of importance, and it helps to attract people.
I have one more question. It is about the alumni newsletter. You mentioned reaching out to the alumni. Adi took it up last year, and that was a streamlined way of basically reaching out to alumni apart from the Facebook page.
Yeah.
We think that it works well because then the VP of alumni can basically get direct contacts with the alumni, and our Facebook page basically promotes article social events and something like that. Do you have any ideas on what more can be done, what can be changed about it?
Right. It was a great idea to start the newsletter as such, because it basically brings a platform for communication to the alumni or reaching out, if at all, in case you need any help from them, etc. And with Adi, the VP of Alumni Relations, taking it up, that also makes sense, because it's totally something that has got to do with his jobs and duties as part of the role. So with respect to that, what I thought maybe adding on to that, it's always good to have a list of alumni, or rather interact or involve more with those alumni who contribute back to the society or the MBA board as such. because we know we have like tons of alumni, but there are only a handful of them who actually help each one of us, maybe in the job search or the industry expertise, etc. So it's good to have a list of such alumni and bring them more into the event as part of the MBAA board, so that it's helpful directly to the participation.
Okay, I have a question. So as he mentioned, the role sort of evolved last year. Something he's done really well is to adapt to it, and the VP Comms is now actually the liaison between the clubs and the student body.
Right.
All communications go through VP Comms, in which case it is sort of your job to ensure that the clubs get their communications to you in time, so that you can push the communications out to the student body, which is very important for attendance. What kind of ideas do you have to ensure that the club leaders get communications to you in time, so that their events can be successful, and then you can also push it on social media, again promoting your alumni outreach?
I really like the fact about the weekly newsletter being pushed on Monday mornings, so that you are well prepared to see what events are coming up in the week starting Monday, so that you can block your calendar for events that you are interested in, etc. So for the newsletter to go back on Monday or to go up on Monday, it's important, I believe, to have the events, the timing of the events or the schedule of events come to you well in advance. That's maybe like a Saturday deadline. So being strict with such a deadline and having a timeline for processes makes us more streamlined and have a well prepared approach to having these sort of newsletters go ahead.
So we get a lot of emails from a lot of different places. Do you think, in your opinion, does it send out a lot of emails, or what would you do to cut down the emails or increase them in order to gather more attention, because kind of loosen the noise that are there in the emails? So what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, so if you carefully look at the number of mails that you get from the MBAA email ID, it's actually a handful and very selected mails, which are very specific to the events that are happening over the week, or if it's something that's really important for you to respond back as a reminder. So going forward to that aspect, maybe there are parts of other communications coming from the MBA program which can be streamlined, but with respect to the communications going out from the MBA board, I believe it's necessary to have at least those minimum communications, and I understand the fact about you flooding your students' email IDs with a lot of individual emails, but for that fact, I think having a single email, weekly email about the events as per those sends us up, that's really helpful.
So just keep it the way it is.
Anyone else? So like we mentioned, we already started communicating with the alumni through the newsletter, and we've tried to be a little bit more careful on social media. What other ideas do you have about communicating with alumni or PMBAs more proactively or better than we have?
My understanding for these alumni relationship establishment would be you can send them out emails, but at the end of the day, you have to ensure that participation. For that, you need to have events which are their domains, or rather their interests, so that you can ensure that their participation in the events will drive the attention and the interaction between the current student body and the alumni, which basically brings about a lot of other benefit for the students. So it's about having these advantageous events for the students currently, as well as events where the alumni are interested to talk about, something like the speaker series, where the alumni who have an important role in the industry come back to the college to talk about how the industry has changed their life, or share about experiences with respect to their industry. So I think these events are basically the driving factors for a lot of interaction that will be